Assalamualaikum. Hi, I am Amira from Ridzuan. So together with my friend Azira, Ridzuan and Ramli, so we are going to present about our assignment 2 on framework and RESTful web service. So for this assignment, we did my policy application. So next, Ridzuan will explain on my policy application function.
Hello, good day to the lecturer. My name is Ridzuan. For the my policy application, there's a 5 function, which is view policy summary, view policy detail, update policy status, remove policy, and the last one is add new policy. For the UI of the function is this UI is for the policy summary. First is when we click the add new policy, it will show add new policy, add new policy UI. We can click the cancel button to cancel and you do not want to add a new policy. Then when you click back add new policy, it will show the policy as what we select, which is medical, and then type of policy is insurance. The policy handle holder name, IC number, email, mobile number, and the last one is address. Once we fill up all the detail, you can click save to save the policy. Okay, then it will show success when it is shown as the second one, and the policy owner is Azira. Type category medical, type insurance, and status is active. To change the status, you need to view detail of and then click on the update status. This is the UI for the policy detail. For the status, yes, currently it is active status. If you do not want to change anything, just click cancel. If you want to change the status, click again the update status and click the active drop box to change the status to expired. If after this, then click save. Okay, it is show updated. And then if you want to return back, click back to summary. Then if you want to remove the whole column of the ID, and then just click the remove policy to remove the policy detail of this insurance. Okay. That is all from me. Next one is I will pass to the Amira.
Okay, so now I will explain on how we set up our project using Spring Boot framework. So what we use to set up our project is we use Eclipse IDE, we use JDK, and we use Maven. Okay, so the first step is that we actually went to this website, Spring Initializer. So what this website does is that we first we select all these selection for our project, Maven project, we select Java language, we select the Spring Boot version, and we fill in all this information about our project, and then we click generate. So what it does is it will generate the initial setup for our project based on the Spring framework. So for example, this is our project folder. So by using Spring Initializer, it will we have automatically initialize our initial project setup based on the framework. So this is our project inside Eclipse IDE. So the next part that is important is the POM file. So we use the POM file because we need to include all the dependencies for our project. So for example, we have org Spring Boot, Spring Framework Boot, because we use Starter Data JPA. We also use Spring Boot Starter Web and Spring Boot DevTools. And then, for example, we use MySQL Connector Java library because we use it to connect to our MySQL database, and several other libraries that we need to include as well. Okay, another file that is important in our project is, of course, the application file. So what it does is when the project is run, the Spring application will run. So we need to have this one, and then other server layers is included inside the package of my policy, which is also consists the demo application and servlet initializer. So this is like a initial project setup lah for our Spring Boot project. So for our server side, we have 4 layers, and before that, this is our front end part for our project. For CSS and JS libraries, we put it inside the static folder, and for the JSP, which is the front end part, we include inside the web app folder. So the first layer, which is the controller, so this is used to process any incoming request from the front end. For example, we have REST API controller, which is used to store all the RESTful API service function, and also policy controller. So this policy controller, for example, to get the policy summary, which you have displayed just now. So this one is to get the policy summary from policy service, and then we get the list policy, we send it to model so that it can be viewed inside the front end. The next part is the policy service. For example, to get policy summary, we call the summaries method inside the policy service. So then inside here, we use the repository function. Okay, so for repository function, we use JPA repository. Inside here, you can see that we extend JPA repository. So this class is actually empty because we utilize the JPA repository. So we only need to specify find all, and it will use the built-in function in the JPA repository, which make it easier for us. And then the next part is the model. Okay, so on this model, it will be explained by my friend Ramli.
Hi. So I will explain about the model policy. So if you can see here, we have a model policy, which we have an ID and also the category, status, type, policy owner, mobile number, email, IC number, and also address. So for the ID, we create one primary key because notation ID. So the ID will automatically generate because we have the notation generate value. So we already set auto. So the user no need to do the ID, just the auto generate by the system. And also we have notation column. So function is to ensure user will key in data what we need based on row already provided to the system. So for link to the system, to keep the data inside the system, we use the database. So we use the MySQL database. So for to link the SQL here, we use just now I said about the notation ID and also the notation column. So the notation ID is a primary key for this database, and also the column. Notation column is for user to key in data based on what the system wants. For example, here you can see we have several columns here for ID, category, status, type, policy owner, mobile number, email, IC number, and also address. So after the user key in, and then the data we generate to keep inside this database. So next, my member will explain regarding the RESTful.
Hi, my name is Azira. So for the RESTful part, we have two services, which is delete mapping and put mapping. The delete mapping is to remove the policy by passing the ID. Then it will remove the policy if the status return successful. Then it will respond as okay. If not, then it will send as error lah. Then for the put mapping, we send the ID and also the status of the policy, which ID and what status that we want to update. Okay, let us for the update status in the Postman. Okay, we select the update policy status and we open the Azira details and get the policy number, which is 22. The 22 is the ID for Azira, and then we insert as 22. Then we change the expired. The expired is a status, it's a currently status, and then we want to change to the active. Then this is the active, and we run. So once successful, we can check this from our UI or database. The status already changed to active. Okay. So for the remove policy, we can create new PC. Otherwise, we don't have any data. Create new PC. Okay. You can just add anything data. So I just want to show how the remove recipes works from Postman. Okay. We open the Amira and get the policy number 33 and put in our Postman, change to 33 and then run. So that says send as okay. Then we check our UI. Then Azira is no longer in the summary, policy summary details. Okay, so that's all.
Sorry. Okay. I just want to add one more. Okay, just want to show you how we start and run our project using Maven. So for example, currently our project is already run. So okay, this is how we use Maven to stop our project using the command prompt Maven Spring Boot stop. So we scan the project. Stopping application, build success. So now if we reload, the project is no longer run. So to run the project, we use Maven Spring Boot start. Enter. Then it will automatically build all the project using Spring. Okay, so now started demo application, Tomcat started, build success. So now we reload again. So now the application is running. Okay, that's all from our group. Thank you.